Looking out over downtown Indianapolis on looks like a gloomy start to our Wednesday, although I'm feeling a little bit brighter after getting above freezing yesterday. Doesn't look like it's going to happen for us again today, but welcome back to 13 Sunrise. Welcome to your Wednesday. We're glad you're up with us, and we're glad to not be talking about below freezing or below negative temperatures, at least this morning.
We always expect this in January. At least it's not blustery. You know what I mean? It's cold. We've got snow on the ground. You got to be careful, but at least it's manageable.
Winter's not as bad when the wind's not blowing.
Do you hear how much different the morale is today?
Everyone,
based off of it's not that bad. When last week we were like, oh man, when are we getting done with this?
And we're not even to average still. Average is about 37, 38.
Okay.
So we're not even there yet. So it's winter season, but Anna Chalker came in, letting us all know her Connorsville Spartans won. It is high school girls basketball sectional season. We're already to sectionals.
There. Yeah,
that's how isn't that crazy? So I was just looking up the timeline for sectionals. I think swimming for girls is next week. We're going to be talking a lot about that throughout the month of February. But if you do have to head to one of those games tonight, first round was last night, and there's still some schools with the first round tonight, but there's also a lot getting a break. If you are heading to some of these high school girls basketball sectionals, it'll be chilly, but it's dry. You don't have to worry about the weather too much. Just trying to stay warm and the athletes staying warm. I will say, though, for some of these other nights, though, as we get closer to some of the sectional championships, there will be some snow showers, and we'll be watching those. This morning it's a chilly start. There's a light north wind out there helping us drop now to 15 in Kokomo in Peru. Good morning in Frankfort. It's 19. It's 21 around Lafayette and around Ball State there in Muncie. Closer in Indianapolis, we're at 22. You get outside the city, a little cooler. 17 in Carmel and Fishers. It's just 15 in Newcastle and 16 for the Spartans this morning. And a pair of 17s farther to the south, Bloomington and in Bedford. We could have got a little bit colder, though, overnight last night, but there's been this cloud blanket sitting over us trying to prevent temperatures from dropping too much more. It's a chilly start, but coming up, we're going to let you know about this next clipper. 2 waves of snow with it, light snow. We're going to let you know when you can expect the next round of flurries. But this morning, how's traffic going, Lindsay?
How about a little Good News Wednesday?
Hey, I like that.
Yeah, I know. Let's take you to the northeast side. We just got an update late yesterday afternoon from NDOT announcing the next phase of this Clear Path project and how they hope to get this whole junction here on the northeast side back open throughout the course of this year. So next phase, you see this bridge they've been constructing right here. This is going to be the new I-465 eastbound to southbound ramp over I-69. So this is going to be the next phase to reopen. They have to do it in a series in order to do it all safely. So first up is going to be that new bridge over Benford Boulevard. Then they're going to completely construct, as they've been working on, I-69 southbound. That ramp to Benford Boulevard South is actually going to go out and around and then connect to Benford down here. And then the next phase is going to be reopening these ramps from 465 eastbound to 69 northbound, as well as 82nd Street. And then that final phase would be Benford Boulevard northbound to I-465 westbound. It's all scheduled this year. It's all weather pending, but that is the process at which they will continue to reopen the northeast side, 465 at 69.
Lindsay, thank you. We are continuing to track developments in the death of Haley Busby in Ohio.
The Hocking County Sheriff's Office there says 39-year-old Tyler Thomas, the Columbus, Ohio man accused in Haley's disappearance here in Indiana, led investigators to her buried remains in Ohio. You can see that here on the map.
Now, right now, Thomas is not charged with killing the teen from Fishers. He is facing 2 counts, though, of pandering obscenity involving a minor and tampering with evidence. This is video from his court appearance on Monday, where he was in the courtroom remotely or virtually.
A judge did set bail at $1.5 million. Thomas's attorneys have said a murder charge could come in the near future, and Thomas will plead not guilty if those charges are filed. Now, the sheriff also confirming that multiple agencies, including the FBI, the U.S. Forest Service, and the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation, worked together to recover Haley's remains.
They are now working with the Licking County Coroner's Office in Ohio for an autopsy and to get an official identification. As we've reported, police believe that Thomas met Haley through an online gaming platform. They say they collected evidence showing that Haley was at Thomas's home after she disappeared.
She was first reported missing January 6th. Investigators tracked this case to a short-term rental where they believe Haley was actually killed. And the case has gotten nationwide attention.
A lot of that coming from the Indiana State House now, too. Anna Chalker is in the newsroom with how Governor Mike Braun and other state leaders are looking to improve child safety here in the state after this case. Good morning, Anna.
Good morning, ladies. The governor is saying something needs to be done now to prevent this from happening again. And he's trying to make it a priority this legislative session before it wraps up in just a few weeks. And Haley's family and others are asking lawmakers for two things when it comes to this Haley's Law. The first is a pink alert system for missing people and children when there's credible information that the person is at risk, and if they do not meet the criteria for a silver or amber alert. And the second part is for schools to require predator awareness education to help make kids more aware of the dangers online. Braun says something like this needs to be put in place so all kids are protected.
Don't know what other states have done on those two particulars, but this is something that's inexcusable. It's not going to go away on its own. We're going to see more instances of it. Something's got to be done.
Braun also puts the blame on big tech and the companies that own these platforms, like the one where Haley and the suspect Tyler Thomas met, saying they can control this and add some more protections on their end of this. And the governor also telling us he is working with state police now to identify the solutions in the gaps to the alerting system. And while he does want to get the ball rolling on this, it is up to the state lawmakers to actually write and draft something up. So coming up, you'll hear from some of them who are really trying to make this change a reality now.
All right, Anna, thank you.
The plans to build a mid-sized data center in Pike Township seem to be powering down, at least for now.
So neighbors say they're actually happy about this after American Tower Corporation withdrew their project. So last night, residents did meet at the proposed site to celebrate the project's cancellation, but they're also concerned the project could be resubmitted by the company.
It's a valid concern. State and local leaders were also there, and they say it's important to listen to the people when it comes to plans like this.
When other districts or other councils facing the same issue, I would advise all of them, including the one in Martindale Brightwood, support the people, man. It's a people movement from the bottom up. So support the people who put you in office.
We did reach out to that company that wants to build their American Tower to ask them why they withdrew that proposal and what are their next plans. So far, they haven't responded.
So what if the next data center doesn't even need a public rezoning hearing? Well, there's a bill at the Indiana State House, House Bill 1333, and it changes where and how big projects like data centers can get approved. Under this bill, developments built on agricultural land with lower quality soil could become a permitted use. So what does that mean? Well, it means no rezoning and in some cases no public hearing required. So instead of needing special rezoning approval, developers may only need basic site plan approval as long as the project meets technical requirements. And for large energy-related projects like battery storage, some could still bypass local zoning if they're inside state-designated energy zones. So, in exchange, future projects like data centers would have to give local governments at least 1% of the sales taxes that they're exempt from paying. Bit of a trade-off here, but communities get some money, but potentially less say up front. Bottom line here, House Bill 1333 doesn't stop big developments. It just changes where they go and how much locals get to weigh in. This now heads to the Senate. We'll keep you updated.
Well, the next story hits home for a lot of parents watching this morning, especially the parents juggling work, bills, and the cost of child care. Right now, it is climbing really fast. And for families, it's just really becoming overwhelming.
Yeah, what choice do you have? There's a new study that shows just how bad it's getting here in central Indiana and how wide the gap is growing for Hoosier families. Marina Silva's breaking down the numbers and what they mean for parents right now. How does this work? Good morning.
Well, good morning. So if you're a parent, this probably hits close to home. Childcare is expensive and it's getting harder to afford. New data shows Indiana ranks 9th worst nationwide when it comes to the gap between family income and the true cost of childcare. Now, that's according to a recent study done by the Lending Tree. The Department of Health and Human Services says the cost of childcare should only take up about 7% of a household's income. Now, the average income in the state of Indiana for a family with 2 kids is a little more than $122,000. Now, according to that study, the family would need to earn just over $400,000 a year to comfortably afford childcare, or 239% more than the state average. One local daycare is trying to meet families in the middle by operating on a tighter budget and also having individual plans for families.
Our motto is where love and learning goes hand in hand. You cannot have learning, you cannot have education unless you have love.
That's Executive Director Sheldon Floyd. He says it's almost like a domino effect. They're part of a workforce that supports families in the workforce. Now, we also spoke with parents who work multiple jobs to afford childcare, so we'll introduce you to them in just a little bit at 6:30. But a lot of people are having to make choices.
Yeah, it's kind of like that catch-22. Do I go to work and make a little bit of money just to pay off my daycare bill, or do I? Yeah, that's really, families should not be in that kind of bind.
It's crazy to think about.
Yeah. All right, thanks.
6:10 is your time. Good morning, Matt.
Hey, good morning, you guys. We're talking about mainly cloudy conditions. It's chilly out there this morning. We're cooler than yesterday, we'll stay that way, but warmer air is on the way. Coming up, we'll let you know how warm we think next week may be.
Possible ransom notes tied to the disappearance of Savannah Guthrie's mom. We have the latest on the search this morning for Nancy Guthrie.
And Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears weighing in on possible ICE operations right here in Indianapolis. His message to local pastors next.